So we told you guys there'd be a couple hiccups tonight. That wasn't the internet dropping. That was just Lucas doing what I do every time I try and play Counter-Strike, and that's press the wrong fucking button. I want to pull out a molly, I pull out a smoke, and I'm dead. Either way, let's keep flowing along here. Now, we will be doing your viewer questions towards the end of the show with Nexa. So if you want to keep piping them through and tweeting them and stuff, we might be able to pick them up, especially on the Twitter sphere. But let's get the news going because, well, some of the best kept secrets in Counter-Strike have been announced recently since our last show. And one of which is karrigan to FaZe. Now, we all knew this was coming. I think since we talked about this seriously, when we had the dilemma of Mouse and FaZe, last time we spoke about this, it was like, at least from my opinion, it was like if karrigan goes to FaZe with the players that were available, obviously when Kyobi was still there, Olaf's still there, that maybe Mouse would be more of an exciting prospect. But now Twist is there. Now this project is just for everybody playing at home, just the 5, is Rain, Cold, Brokey, Twist, karrigan, and I believe Robin is back within that coaching chair. So this is the formulated 5, obviously the 6 with the coach. And I think this has got a lot of excitement about it. So I want to start here with you next. So you're seeing karrigan go back to FaZe. You're seeing the names that he's around. Obviously, you have Nico on your team who's just left this squad. So you might have a little bit of inside info here, at least to give yourself a hedging of a bet. What do you think of this 5 off the bat?
I think it's really good. Like on paper, it looks really amazing, and we know karrigan, he can do amazing things with a lot less. Honestly, it looks very promising, and I wouldn't be least bit surprised if they manage to snag some titles even like early on.
Yeah, like I think that's one of the topics we'll get into a little bit. Well, maybe we can talk about it now. I think when you see this team and you got karrigan involved, and you consider where Mouse Sports have been at recently, they always the honeymoon period for this team, Prof, right? Having karrigan come in, knowing Twist is riding this high, just fucking slap the asses of Liquid just the other night. It may be getting some motivation back out of Cold and Rain. Brokey still doing his fucking thing. What do you reckon, Prof? Do you reckon the honeymoon is strong enough for them to win something like Katowice straight away?
Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I think they're definitely a team that could benefit from the honeymoon period. karrigan historically was always pretty good when he came into teams and when he made roster moves and stuff like that. Usually it would happen pretty fast for them to do quite well. So I think that is gonna repeat. And we already saw Twist is pretty in form.
Looking great.
FaZe. Yeah.
On a map he hadn't played in since late 2018, he's dropping bombs. So
that was actually crazy. And at the same time, like his train rating, even historically, is pretty good. Like I think his like rating on train is 112, but the last map played is 2018, and even that was like a
fluky. It was against Astralis.
That was that grand final when they picked it. So that's kind of crazy. I think it could be pretty good. Definitely could be pretty good.
I want to throw you this one, Striker, and unfortunately it just ended up in this order. If you had to pick holes, now just want to make this clear for everybody out there, Striker's not hating on FaZe. I'm just going to put him in a position. If you had to pick holes and where this could go wrong, where are you picking those holes?
Wow. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
I honestly don't know. Just because I feel like this is kind of like the same situation as when karrigan first came into FaZe, where they were like for the previous 2 years or whatever, for however long the team was alive, they didn't have any like proper in-game leaders, and it was always an issue that kept popping up time and time and again. And this is kind of the same situation where since they lost him, they essentially just like kind of had it like hot potato, throwing it around a little bit between Nico and then Cold. And I feel like that's just such a big issue that they will just resolve with a relatively simple move that I feel like they're just going to be improved immediately. I just don't even know where I would look to see any gaps apart from like maybe like individual display from somebody like Coldzera. Like, is he actually going to get unlocked when the in-game leadership goes to karrigan, when he doesn't have to focus on that stuff anymore? Like, that's the only thing, I guess, is just Coldzera, if he's actually going to come back to the form that we were kind of used to from him.
Okay. Now, I want to talk a lot more about FaZe when we get to Blast Premier and we go into the group and we talk about their performance, and maybe we can even project what we think just off of what we've seen. So we won't stick on FaZe for too long here. Does anybody have anything they feel they want to get in about karrigan before I keep this one trucking along? Everyone's good. All right. Yep. Nice. Silence is beautiful. Now, we're going to move into